Hello and very good morning to you all. How are you guys today? Welcome to the Trading Cage. This is where we beat the gold. And welcome to our live analysis of the gold as it happens now. Thank you all for being here. It's been really awesome to do this. I'm really enjoying this project. And let's see what gold is doing today for us, eh? Yesterday, it followed through my confluences really well, actually. For a minute there, we had bought, we had gone long on the gold, and then it came back into the structure, so we sold, and we went short the whole day long, actually, until the opening of the Asian market with two lots, two micro lots actually, and that prop firm that I use, and we managed to get a awesome take of about just 2,400, I think it was. It was really good yesterday. So this is the reason why confluences are so great, right? So we have our candle per candle analysis, we have our readings through, we have our regions, we have mapped the liquidity. So once we map everything out, all we gotta do is wait, be patient. We wait for the market to do what it needs to do to pay us what it needs to pay, okay? So there's no reason for us to be getting into trades just everywhere just because I want to get into a trade. Wait for the right confluences. You will see that you're going to get um, great options of trades throughout the day. We don't need to get into a trade that stops too long. Okay, so our target's too small for the stop. We don't need to do that. We can always wait for a retraction of the market or a correction of it around the 50% region. Then we can get into a trade there once it signs it. Just to make sure that we get good trades. Remember, as day traders, you do not need to trade every single day. This is not a 9 to 5 job, okay? So there's nobody near you. Look, you got to trade, you got to trade. Um, I know that sometimes you do want to trade because it does give you a lot of adrenaline. You know, every time you click, you're into the trade. You want to see what the heck is going to happen. But don't let that side of it actually let you make bad decisions. Okay, so don't let the trading, the exciting part of being on a trade, make you make bad choices, okay, on the chart. Because what big players do is they induce people to do the wrong thing over and over and over again. And once you do the wrong thing, you become the liquidity that the market needs. And hence why 98% of people who tries they trade, they fail. They simply fail because they are not waiting, they're not using the technique right, they're not waiting for the right moment to get into that trade. And sometimes all the market's going to give you is a little scalp. But then if you get with it, if you get into that scalp with enough lots just to get what you're trying to get out of the market and get out, that's plenty. We do aim to get about 2% of our wallet per day. Okay. So that's our target, 2% per day. If we lose, we do not want to lose more than about 4%, which is what 2 days of trading would give you. but I would avoid to lose anything over that. So normally we'll do anywhere from 2 to 3% a day of target profit. And then for stop loss, we would aim anywhere up to 4%. If it's not a very easy day, you see that the market is giving you one reading and then it's not really following through, you can always leave that day alone and say, look, today's not a good day to trade. Market is playing around quite a lot, so we'll just leave it. Come back tomorrow. Okay, so we have the free will to do that on the market. Don't waste it. All right, so enough talk, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to be here um, to see me talk about things like that for right now. You probably want to see this chart and want to see what gold is doing right now. So yesterday, we opened up with the market after it had actually renewed that record high. Let me just take those symbols out. I think it's on the 5-minute chart. And just clear them out, make it easier for us to study. Where is it? Okay, here. As I said yesterday, I had to, as soon as we finished our live, I had to leave really quickly to sort out some stuff in my farm. The guys who worked there, they were without power. So yesterday was a day which I worked with electricians the whole night, the whole day and the whole night almost, to sort that power issue out, but that has been controlled. So, okay, let's go back to the daily chart. There we go. So that's all clear. Cool. So what do we know? We know that we still have this trend line here. Okay. I do expect to get some sort of corrections, okay? Because we still have that short that hasn't been broken. But let's wait for it. We can't really know exactly when that's going to happen. So right now we had yesterday's candle closed above its 50% after breaking through new record high again. But then it got a lot of people liquidated their positions, okay? So when people liquidate their positions, we get these pushback right there. And then yesterday opened and it went over to check the support once again. So we have this movement here. Right there. And we are still above that 50% region, okay? So our support in here, in that area, is exactly that 50%. And that's where candle 15 came to test, which is a good test, okay? Not only it's a good test, but it also builds up more liquidity here for the market to come and grab. So every time the market renews record high, sometimes it won't do this, okay? But most of the time, it will come back, it will try to correct itself, and then once it corrects itself, it generates more liquidity, and then it will come to try grab that liquidity afterwards. So you can see that every time breaks through, comes back, generates liquidity, then it does a pullback, confirms pullback, then renovates record high, generates pullback, generates liquidity on top, goes back, grabs it, and so forth. So this happens over and over again, and those are the waves of Elliott. That's how the market works. Let's go over to our 1 hour chart. Where's my candle counter? Come on. I don't have candle counter on 1 hour. Oh no, I do. Just gotta do this. For you. There we go. Cool. So here at our 1 hour chart, we have that Fibo on the macro, which we are over the 50%. And now we've got this one, which we're just over the 50%. And this is where the market is going a bit of sideways, right? It's getting to a bit of a consolidation here. So what can we see so far that we can map on this price? We know that we have support in this region here. So we have support here on our 50%, right? What else? We have got resistance around here in this region, which is this trigger candle here, and this is our relevant stopping point right there. Let's see if I can get this one. Okay, so this trigger candle's holding that one. And then we have a relevant stopping point here at candle 59. But we also do have this inefficiency here on this candle 65, which has got quite a bit of buying orders on them, which could accelerate that price. The other thing that we do have is the stops of everybody who sold on candle 65 right in that region, which is the exact region just before the trigger candle 59. Okay, so if price breaks through this maximum of today, okay, so this is the maximum of today. If price breaks through it, most likely it will accelerate to grab this inefficiency here, and then it will accelerate once again once it gets this stop, and it may not be able to break through candle 59, but it will come up here somewhere before it gets pushed down by sellers. Okay, because after grabbing all of this, it will tend to accelerate a little bit, and then if the sellers that are up here decides to push the price down, they would still get a little bit of pressure from all this liquidity that it will grab. So what else have we got? We do have inefficiency here below candle 78. The 78 grabbed a bit of it. Where is that? Not that one. Come here. So we have got this inefficiency here. Pink. It's violet. Where is pink? There we go. So this is selling lots, all right? So when we have selling lots, if price comes down here, it will accelerate until it hits trigger candle 71. So we have selling orders here. We've got a lot of selling orders below number 65 here, but that's a little bit far away for the price right now. But we can also map it, so it's not an issue. Let me see if I can do this. So I've got selling orders here, which are the buyer's stop. I don't need this right now, so I can use it here. This is a good target for a selling market, okay? For going short on the market. So on the 1 hour, we have mapped the region that we are working on at the moment. Just 1 second. Cool. So we mapped it on the 1 hour. We are in a small consolidation around the 50% of the last record high and the last low, so last movement, okay? Now we will go down to the 15 minutes. Just wanna hang on. Let me see if I have this trend line here. For the moment, we still have it right there. Cool. So we have our 50% of the macro there, 50% of the micro, the micro, which is the smaller movement. We still have that short. I think I'm going to make that short on the 5 minutes instead. I'll do that on the 5 minutes. It might be clearer there. Cool. All right, let's go now to the 15-minute chart. So on our 15 minutes, what we can see here is that we have got our support here on the 50% region of this smaller movement, which is this one. That got deleted. Cool. So we've got our 50% here. We're kind of 54 my target, okay, since 53 actually has gone on target, which is the trigger candle 44. So it has hit there. A price on 54 might just come back and hit that trigger candle 52. So we have a bit of support right there, resistance on top. All the liquidity here, we've got liquidity there. We have trigger candle, our trigger candle right on this region here, which is all these triggers to the left-hand side, which is not bad. Okay. So we got this, that, and that. This is where the other trigger candle on the hour is. Here, what would be more important actually would be these ones on the lower time frame. So what we'll do is we'll just leave this there because this is a good target if we go long, okay? If we go short, this here is a good target because price will need to clear this inefficiency here and to grab some more contracts. So this would be really good. All right, so this is pretty much it for our 15 minutes. I keep on looking at this 1 minute here because it might give us something quite cool. All right, so let's look at our 5 minutes. So on our 5 minutes, yeah, that short doesn't really suit that nice in there. Nah, doesn't quite work the way I would like it to work. It would have to be around here. Still above that short, but doesn't quite work the way I would like it to. Yesterday we had a sort of a channel there, but now I can't see that channel anymore. We had a channel coming down there, but I can't really see that channel anymore. Because if we have the lower part of the channel here, then top part of the channel would be around there. Price would still have enough room to come and grab all of these anyways. Cool. So right now we've got candle 54 on the 15 minutes coming back to test the trigger candle 52. If it decides to come back down, most likely it will come to grab the liquidity below candle 43. What we can see, we can have a look as see if price on the 5 minutes is actually hitting that 50% zone or not yet. Here on the 1 minute, we can actually add that short in there. Let's see if price is going to break through that. Right now, price is just between support and resistance. Candle 54 is just going on target, which is candle 52. Does look like price is gonna try to break through that trigger candle there. It is testing that 50% region right now. Let's see if it manages to continue on its way up. So on 1 minute, it has made a small pullback to test the 50% region, which is a healthy movement. Let's wait for it. So now candle 162 has to hit target, our trigger candle here, 155. That's where price is going. That's also the resistance right in its face there. But since price came back to grab some more liquidity down below, it will probably break through. That's what we're waiting for. As soon as it touches that resistance point, it feels a little bit of pressure from sellers. Let's see if we'll manage to break through. Big push from sellers here on the 1 minute. Testing support of trigger candle 806. It has also just touched trigger candle 35, which is the last relevant stopping point for this price, okay? 35 here on the 15 minutes. So this is where price is stopping right now. That's why I felt the sellers a bit. This is still a pullback. So it can come here around 50% zone. If it breaks through that 50%, and this trigger candle here, 803, we would probably have a reversal of the movement, okay? But let's see if buyers are going to be able to break through that resistance. Candle 810 is trying to go back up. While we wait for that candle to close, let me just do a couple of things here really quickly. All right. So candle 162 closed above candle 161. Candle 163 has tested up. Candle 162 didn't quite close the way you would expect it to. You wanted a little bit, you wanted it to show that the movement, the buyers would be a bit stronger, and it closed almost as a doji. So shows us a bit of pressure from buyers and sellers at that point, which is our resistance here that we have mapped. So we already know that that was going to happen in that region. If price doesn't break through this high here, once again, same thing that we spoke about yesterday, most likely this price will have to come down a lot lower, okay? So if it doesn't break through there, it's going to have to come grab this liquidity here to continue that movement. When it comes to grab the liquidity, it might induce more sellers to sell, okay? And if that does happen, then we would see the market once again coming into the last lows here on the 15 minutes. So we do have a bit of inefficiency here on candle 44, okay? So there's a bit of contracts in there, and we have a lot of inefficiency on candle 28 that hasn't been grabbed yet. And that's just below 50% of today's movement. So we have all of that offer in there that might be quite tempting for sellers, for people who are going to short the market to come and grab. For the meantime, I still believe that on the macro, the chart is on a high trend, okay? So we prefer to buy than to sell. But if the market can't break through um, the areas that it must break, then we know that's gonna be it's gonna have to go and grab more liquidity, and then we short the market um, because we do what the market designs us to do. We're not going to be here holding a long position or waiting for a long position if the market's actually going down. We just go down with it. The 1 minute here, you can see that candle 813 came around to the 50% region of the last movement on the 1 minute. Candle 812 didn't manage to break through that region. 814, it's pushing down again. Once it has touched that resistance on top. So let's see, if it breaks through that 50%, we might be seeing this market coming down to get a bit more liquidity down there. But for the meantime, one thing that we have here is we've got this support to the left. So we have these candles here who could hold that price. So we just gotta wait. Not only that, we do have this trigger candle here at 152, which could well hold that price as well. On 15 minutes here, these movement at the moment could only be candle 55 testing down to find support before it tries to break through that resistance. Okay, but there is so when we look at the chart, there is a difference. It can come and find support, so it must test down. That's awesome for our candle, our 15-minute candle. But we don't want to see it coming down below the support zones here on the 5 minutes. So these are the things that we keep on looking at all the time. We know what the chart must do, what candles must do, but one thing cannot break something else. It can't break the structure that's building on the lower time frames. If it does, then it could just come down, grab a ball that inefficiency, exactly like candle 54 did, and come down and close down here somewhere. This could be a three candle pattern here on the 50%. But since we've got the resistance just on top of it, I'm not going to get into that trade, okay? Because it came tested that 50% region. But with that resistance right there on our face, I'm not going to get into this trade until it actually breaks through it. I do believe on a long market today, um, but we have to see um, what the chart will design for us. We have mapped the price. We know exactly what we're waiting for. So now it's one of those moments. The boring part of being a trader is waiting for the market to react to the zones that we have mapped. And then once it does what we are waiting for it to do, we'll get into our trade, get our money, get out, and wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do it all over again. So candle 164 here on the 1 minute. Candle 818 hasn't managed to break through trigger candle 812. We must see the candles breaking through that to know if price is actually going to go continue on its way up. Let's wait and see. Just having a quick look here at the Brazilian market. It looks like Evolve is just continue straight on the trend line that it made yesterday. Made a really good movement yesterday. Just waiting for that to design something so I can get into that trade as well. So right now, candle 820 it's looking to come back and renew that pullback. So we have that lower point here on 813. 820 must renew that one. We don't want to see price breaking through that support. If it does, then most likely will come down lower. Okay. H1 did what it had to do, which was renew the lowest part of the pullback of 813. Still holding on to that 50% region. So found really good support in that region. Candle 164 here on the 5 minute. Actually didn't close, showing us a lot of pressure from buyers, okay? But it could just be inducing sellers to add liquidity and more stops on the top of this small structure that he created here. So let's wait and see if that's what it's trying to do, or if it's trying to induce buyers to put more stops below. Trying to break through that 50% zone right now. Let's see if it does. Just hit our support line. One minute, still not closing below the candles before. So it's not breaking through those candles. It just keeps renewing the last minimals, but it doesn't really closes below yet. If it breaks through this trigger candle here, 803, we'll most likely have to come down a lot lower than that, okay? It's quite weird. See, we don't have candle 163 doesn't close below 162, 164 doesn't close below 163, 165 is trying to close below 164 right now, but we still get a bit of pressure from buyers here on the 50% region, which means that buyers still want to push the price up, but it has induced sellers to come and grab a bit more liquidity below. So you know that price needs liquidity to move, and it's trying to come and grab a bit more down here. Candle 165 closed below that 50% line. Also closed below the last minimals of candle 64 and 163. Candle 166 hasn't tested. On 15 minutes here, candle 55 closed inside of the structure. Candle 56 hasn't tested up. It would be really good if it tested up and then tried to move down, because then we could get into that trade with a really short stop. All right, so 166 coming down. broke through that trigger candle that we spoke about, then pop right back up. Let me just see one small thing here. Now we have got a new high, a new low. It drops over to that 50% region. That's where it felt the price. So that's the 50% of these movement here. This is what I was trying to get into on the 1 minute chart. And as you can see, this technique, it's so good. It shows you exactly what the price will do because price moves in between high, low, and 50%. Okay. Normally people would have Fibonacci's with 28.9 and then other Fibonacci levels, and it just makes it so confusing, right? But when you have a clear technique, look, this is what I'm getting to. This is where price must go. I'm going to wait for it. Let it test. Let it decide the way that it wants to go. And then you get into trade. It's a lot easier. Okay. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly where price must go. And if it's going to break through or not, that's something else. But just knowing all of those details makes it awesome. All right. So we got candle 830 here. One thing that we could see here now is we could actually see a three candle pattern right there, right in that region, because that's the region of 50%. Let's see if candle 167 closes inside that structure. We could have that happening. Or we could have a continuance of this movement if candle 167 actually tests up a little bit more. Just on that test, I'm not very comfortable selling. As I said, market, it is on a high trend. So when you go short on these regions, you must do scalps and they must be really to sell. To be able to sell in these regions, you've got to do every single thing right. You can't have not even one small mistake. Let's see if candle 167 closes inside of candle 166. Let's wait for it. So candle 167 came around here to that trigger candle. Then it got a big pressure here from buyers, okay? Price is coming back over that 50% line. We might get a pattern of a three candle pattern here to go over to that resistance once again. But it can't really go at once. I need the next candle to test before I put my order in. My stop loss. Oh shit, look at that. Big pressure from sellers. And this is why we don't hit buy now. We always wait for the candle to close and test prior to getting to a trade. Because I was really preparing myself to go long on that next candle. But look at the market, how it reacts. Just induced buyers to most likely come and stop them here. Okay, so it has confirmed pullback to the minimals. Let's see if candle 168 tests up. And then I'll be getting into that trade. Oh, come on, test up. It didn't test just enough for me to get into that trade. I needed a test at least here on the high part of candle 835. It has cleared all that inefficiency that we spoke about on candle 54. So right now, nothing to do on that chart. Right now, we wait. We push. It's gonna come grab that liquidity down below 157. This is exactly what we spoke about. So if price couldn't break through, that resistance would have to come down below to grab more liquidity to try to make that movement. The only thing that might happen is it might induce sellers to keep on selling and grab all that liquidity below, okay? That's a lot of liquidity down below. This here would have been an awesome scalp, okay? But candle 168 didn't test the resistance here as I would like it to before I got into a trade, because we are in a trigger candles area, okay? So this is a support region. And so you want to make sure that it has enough resistance on top before you get into that trade. It didn't really test, it just did a little flick up and that was it. There we go. And never feel like, oh, look, I lost that trade. I could have got into it. What happened? I'm miserable. Don't feel that way, okay? It's totally normal. It's just a trade. We will have orders during the day. So if this one didn't do what you expect it to do, what you wanted it to do, don't pressure yourself, don't push yourself, don't think that you're not a trader, okay? Because all you're trying to do is avoid the amounts of stops that you would get in any single day. So when you're trying to avoid the amount of stops, of course, you are going to miss out on some trades that would have paid, but that's totally normal, all right? So don't worry about that. Just try to concentrate and get onto the good trades that you want to get into. Don't go just getting into anything and buying at market price. Imagine if we had bought at market price here at 167, we would have lost some money right now. So it's not really worth that. It's gonna try to go at once. Look at it. I wanted to get into that trade simply because here, if it closed inside of that trigger candle 44, that means it's gonna come and grab all the rest of that liquidity there. But we still have 30 seconds for that candle to close. If it just melts down, then there's nothing we can do because it would have hit that target here at 4814. So if it gets into that region, there's nothing we can do about it. That's quick. We didn't get test up again. So I'm not gonna get into that trade. It is a good trade until about here. But one of my rules are a candle must test. Okay. Don't trust in a candle that doesn't test. That's what I learned from my mentor, and it has saved me many, many, many times when I started studying the financial markets. So that debt is paid. The inefficiency has been cleared. So we'll delete that one. So he grabbed all these liquidity that we had in here and cleared the inefficiency from candle 44. We can see this is also a support region. So we could see around here a rejection of this region. Let me, come on. I'm gonna grab this line here, but okay. So this is also support. So since it already got that, grabbed all that liquidity, let's see how candle 169 closes. But we could see a three candle pattern here happening here at support. If rejects that support, price will come up. We can also get into that trade. Now we do have all of this liquidity down below here. Price could still want to continue on its way down to grab that prior to the opening of the US market. On 6.9 going back to support. And we can see how far left here this support, how strong the support is. You can see it touches here, it's resistance here, then it's support here again, and then it's support there, support there, support here. So this is a very good regional support for the price. We are just below that 50% of the macro movement here. That's our 50% there. Let's see if 169 closes above it. If it does, we're still waiting for the next candle to test. It's got to test down before we get into any trades. Come on, let's see if 170 will test down. Oh, it didn't test down. Why? It's not testing today. Today, it's one of those days where the frequency of the market is just not testing. It just goes without doing the test that we wanted to do. And then leaves us in a position where we can't really get into that trade. Let's see if it'll test. Hasn't tested yet. No, it's just gonna go without us once again. And it's okay. If it doesn't test, I don't trust it, and it's all fine. It's got resistance here from this trigger candle 158. I hope that you guys can hear me okay. I've been getting some messages from YouTube saying that the audio streams is current bitrate 0. I don't know why that is. I just hope that you guys can hear me fine. Well, guys, it is 10 o'clock, 10:07. So just a quick analysis for you guys before I leave is if price breaks through the support here, it will come to clear this inefficiency out, okay, from this 15 minutes candle 28. So just be prepared for it. This could be a pullback on the 50% region to continue its way down, okay? So you could see price coming down here once again, breaking through. Um, just wait for a quick test, okay? Wait for a quick test of support. If it tests support, then you can go short into that region there. Okay, until about 4797, into that. Now, if price comes back to support and then doesn't continue, if it rejects the support here, this here is a good place to buy, okay? So you could go long from here to the top region of the market. Okay, it has been very, very great to be here. This has been the trading cage where we beat the gold. Thank you very much for once again watching us, joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this channel with your friends so we can keep on growing. And I will see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock here in our channel once again. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow and have